I love you, but I'm not in love with you anymore. I just don't see you in that way. I kind of feel like we've grown apart. I feel like you're my brother. Oof, that last one does not land well. Do any of these sound familiar to you? Well, you might have come down with a case of roommate syndrome. Let's find out. Roommate syndrome is a habit-based phenomenon that occurs in long-term relationships when couples start to behave more like roommates than lovers. So, you guys are just like two buddies now who run a household, drink beer, and watch TV together, yeah? Is that how you want to spend the rest of your marriage? Didn't think so. And that's why we're going to address it in this video today. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to share with you the best way to regain intimacy and connection with your wife. It's a simple question you can ask her, and it's a quick fix tool I encouraged countless men like yourself to use whilst working as a couples counselor and psychotherapist in private practice. But first, I want to tell you a story. This is perhaps the greatest love story never told. It's about a man and a woman who meet at a party. Neither one of them know many there, so they start talking about their mutual friends and break the ice in an awkward yet cute kind of way. Laughter soon emerges, and before they know it, they're really hitting it off. They take to the dance floor and embrace each other. Butterflies in their stomachs, smiles on their faces, and then all of a sudden, they both look at each other. The world falls silent. They both look at each other's lips, and the music stops. They laugh a little bit, and at the end of the night, the man asks the woman for her number. She gives it to him, and then they go their separate ways. It will be 3 more dates before they enjoy their first kiss. They enter into the honeymoon phase of the relationship. It's wonderful. They can't stop thinking about each other. Their conversations blossom. There's an abundance of sex and intimacy. They talk about how close they feel, how much they appreciate each other, their plans, desires, goals, aspirations, and dreams. They get married and they buy their first home together. It's all a part of the plan. They're excited, they're forward thinking. The mortgage is challenging in the beginning, but it's worth it. Then kids come along. Still challenging, but still worth it. But now there's less time. Life is harder. And they're older. And what was once a deep and profound connection has all but coiled up into a reliance upon one another just to survive. Resentments ensue as both the man and the woman begin to see the insufficiencies and imperfections in each other. No longer do they see the good. By now, both live together because they have to, getting along at the best of times, arguing, ignoring, or even stonewalling each other at the worst. You know that dreaded cold shoulder? Sometimes they hope all the resentment and unfinished arguments will just go away, but they don't. They just kind of stack up. 2 roommates with responsibilities that make them feel trapped and unappreciated. Look, if you feel like your relationship isn't a relationship anymore, more so 2 mates living together, the first thing you need to do is recognize that reattracting your wife and building connection and romance isn't about tools, tactics, or manipulation strategies, but what we at Pinnacle of Man refer to the Apogee Triad. And I guarantee you that if you incorporate the Apogee Triad into your relationship, I know you'll become an apex male along with the thousands of other men we've served in our program. The Apogee Triad is comprised of 3 foundational elements that you as a man can cultivate within yourself to massively boost the intimacy and connection within your relationship, thereby leaving behind any semblance of roommate syndrome. Number 1, honest valor. In a world driven by the fleeting facades of consumerism and pleasure, a man's true worth is measured by his unyielding commitment to integrity and his unapologetic courage to stand up for his values. Being true to who you are and what you stand for is scary. That's why you have to be willing to expose yourself to your wife and the world. Get your head out of the gutter and share your perspectives, opinions, wounds, traumas, and aspirations naked and vulnerable to the opinions of others. Your proclivity to live your life in accordance with your truth is a measure of your authentic leadership. Number 2, cool composure. Confidence doesn't mean being loud. It means being calm and unreactive in the face of extreme physical and/or psychological torment. Your ability to fight for love and freedom when all you want to do is shut down, win an argument, or solve the problem for your wife will massively affect the connectedness in your relationship. Don't close off when she's letting you know how she feels. Think to yourself, how can I liberate love for her right at this very moment? Number 3, coherent purpose. A coherent purpose signifies a shared, clear direction that unites you and your wife. Where are you taking each other? What's the vision you have for your lives? This is the beacon guiding the purpose of your relationship, aligning you both toward a common goal. Where are you going to live? How many kids will you have? Are you both going to start a business together or a charity? Remember how the man and woman were in the beginning of their story. They were forward thinking. They were getting excited about all the wonderful things they were going to be doing together. The places they would visit, the food they would eat, the classes they would take, the languages they would learn, the adventures they would have. Then all of that stopped. Why? Here's the hard truth. Because they let it stop. But remember that love isn't a falling in, but a giving to. Things won't happen by themselves. Love is a choice, always. So don't let it fall by the wayside anymore. Pick it up, take it where it needs to go. Look, I get that kids and full-time jobs and responsibilities and chores make life really, really hard at times. But we need to really, truly dig down and fully comprehend the core reason why intimacy and connection died between you two, and hence why you both became roommates, so that we can fix it. Can't be bothered? All good. Here's the answer. The polarity dried up between you two. Managing the household and financial duties is important, but it isn't the only thing that's important. And connection and intimacy is all about the dance of masculine and feminine polarity. If you lose your way, you lose your masculine essence. A man's purpose is magnetic to his wife because it embodies dedication and direction. It shows that he's driven, committed, and has a clear vision for their future. This purpose ignites her admiration, offering reassurance that he's a dependable partner, leading to a deep and enduring attraction. She wants to trust your core and your integrity, and she won't be able to if you're being complacent in life. The reason why men get complacent in life is because they take their wives and their time on earth for granted. They say to themselves, I'll just get this promotion or just pay off the mortgage. Then I can relax and be free. Then we can go on that holiday and then I can start that project. Big mistake. Your life is right now. It'll always and only ever be right now. Don't let it get away from you. So if you want your marriage to feel like it used to, because you truly believe it's worth fighting for, then I know you're the type of guy who will find a way to prioritize it now and its needs, as well as your needs to feel fulfilled now, despite the requirements of life. Tend to your wife and your purpose. You know you've got it in you, and you also know that your wife is craving that kind of dedication from you. If you're married to a high-value woman, she's not going to accept anything less than the absolute best of you. And why would you want anything less than the best you've got to give? If you want to get out of that dreaded roommate phase, then you're going to have to stop managing your life, ticking the boxes on the to-do list, and start getting excited about a shared meaning you can both create together. You're married, you've had kids, you've bought a house. Financially, you're in a good place now. Your marriage is more disconnected than ever. It's time for you two to start reconnecting and talking about how you can both take each other further than you could take yourself. And this is where rituals of connection come into play. And I don't mean positive affirmations that sound wonderful or easy in theory. The concept of shared meaning in relationships is actually a scientifically proven phenomenon shown to relate strongly to long-term relationship success. Dr. John Gottman, American psychologist and professor who spent decades researching couples, was able to predict with 95% accuracy which couples would stay together and which would separate. He said that couples who talk about their hopes and their dreams with one another openly are more likely to be happy and less likely to be struggling. Being forward-thinking is essential to happy marriages. And it's precisely why relationships are so fun in the beginning, because there's so much to look forward to. There's so much to get excited about. So many things to do that haven't been done yet. The way I like to think about it is that there's so much potential. And so here's what I'm asking of you today. It's time to get back into and work on the relationship by creating shared meaning and a vision that you can both cultivate together. And since you stuck around to the end, I do want to honor my end of the bargain and give you something that will really spark that reconnection in your relationship. Okay, so the next time you and your wife are talking, I want you to ask her the following. Honey, what's something I used to do back in our honeymoon phase that I don't do anymore that you'd love if I started doing again? You can thank me later. Actually, wait, you can thank me now by clicking that subscribe button below.